Today, I take you out and about with our entertainment red carpet co-host, Heather Howell. All right, Heather, tables have turned. It's time for our viewers to find out a little bit about you and what you provide to Sarasota and out and about.
Okay, I guess what's good for the host is good for the co-host.
It sure is, so let's go on in and take that gander.
Let's do it.
Come on. All right, Heather. It's your time.
No, I kind of asked for this, not knowing that I was asking for it, but it's okay. I'm good with it. Let's do it.
All right, so some of our viewers want to know, how long have you actually lived in Sarasota?
I have only lived in Sarasota for 8 years. As we talked about in your interview, I'm from Florida. I'm originally an 8th generation Floridian, so I'm kind of a dinosaur. And people ask me all the time where my accent is from, and they're like, "Are you from North Carolina?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't draw it out that much, and I'm not from Alabama either." So no, I'm an 8th generation Floridian. I'm from the center of the state, and I moved to Sarasota to put my son in the Sarasota Military Academy.
And as you can see, she's quite the comic. She's a very southern girl that she is, which brings us to our next question. How did we find each other?
Okay. So, yeah, I knew that question was coming because I'm asked that one all the time. How did I get on Out and About? And ironically, I was a fan of the show. So that's basically how it started, is I started watching the show.
And I started watching you on your videos.
Yeah, I started watching the show because not being originally from Sarasota, it was a great way for me to scope out the scene. And then Tyler and I became friends on Facebook. And I may or may not make silly Facebook videos when I'm by myself. And he was like, "Oh my God, this girl has personality and blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Do you want to be on my show?" And I was like, "Do you have bloop bloops to come over half of what will come out of my mouth?" And he's like, so... and I would like to say a lot of what you see on camera between us is it's genuine.
Right.
It's genuine. We both kind of feed off of each other pretty naturally. Our birthdays are 3 days apart, so I'm older. And
much older.
so it is. I don't know. We just have good chemistry, and I mean, I can thank you for picking up on that. So here I am, sitting on a chair, answering questions.
And that great outfit, which brings us to our next question. A lot of people want to know, where do you buy your clothes? I'm a Beautiful You boutique kind of guy. I love that place. And I know you love them as well as...
Yes. Well, confession, I'm a consignment shop girl. And what started me in the consignment shop world is I'm a hairdresser. And I'm constantly getting color and bleach on my clothes, and I'm out buying, expensive outfits that are being ruined. And after, many tiers of that, I was like, I have to look the part, but I cannot keep ruining these expensive clothes. So right next door to my beauty supply store, I found Laura Jean's Consignment Shop. And that's my go-to place. I have never once needed something, whether it's for you, going on a cruise, my son's graduation. I've never not walked in there and walked out with exactly what I needed. And it's name brands. It's reasonably priced and then some. They have weekly sales and they email you their sales. So there you go. Laura Jean's Consignment Shop on the corner of Bee Ridge and Tuttle. Plug.
So if you've not watched the end of our show, you would never have learned when I film with Heather. I usually talk about who she is and where she's from and where she works at. So if you don't know the girl to my left, it's Heather Howell. Yes, and you can find her where, Heather?
I am a hairstylist, and I have been a hairstylist for 21 years, and I love it. The first victim I had was my cousin when I was 4, and he made the mistake of falling asleep on the couch, and I cut his hair. And my mother allowed me to do so and took pictures before she actually stopped me. So it's... I never had to wonder what I was going to do for a living, ever. I always knew, and I'm blessed beyond measure. And I currently work at Diane K Salon and Spa at 1642 Main Street, downtown, another blessing.
Right.
To be able to move here and work in a stellar high-end salon downtown on Main Street.
So between Salon 41 for my hair weekdays,
Yes.
on the weekends I also hit Heather up to clean me up. When they're not available for me at Salon 41, I go to Diane K to Heather as well.
And I specialize in colors and particularly highlights and blondes, and which is strange because I'm a brunette. But yeah.
I have a very strange question that just came up actually on Facebook, and it says, "What do you do if you eat bad food?" I mean, what do they want to know?
Oh, I bet they're asking if we're filming and we have something bad. Oh, that has happened.
Oh.
No, that has happened, and well, it makes for great bloopers for our gag reel.
That's true. It does.
But we will never say anything negative about anyone. That's not what we're in the business of doing.
Because something that we might think is bad, the viewer might not think it's bad, or they may have had a good experience. And everybody's entitled in business to have bad days and do bad things or not make something exactly right. It happens. It's business. It's life. Mistakes happen.
And
so,
especially new restaurants. We do so many new restaurants, and they have.
We're not the perfection police.
Right. No, we're not. And they have growing pains. So I can honestly say that Tyler and I only eat chicken. So I've brought my mother along as a taste tester before because I don't eat seafood, which is crazy. Being a Floridian, I'm a little spoiled. I've only eaten seafood that I watched my son pluck, or my husband, or pluck from the ocean. And
well, that was one of the questions actually people were going to want to know. Do you have children?
Yes, I do have children. I have one son. He's 21 in the Navy, and then I have 3 bonus children, and I'm very close to my oldest bonus child, my daughter. So yes, I'm married with children.
Are they talkers like you, Heather?
No. My
Quiet?
My children are quiet.
Because they probably never could get a word in edgewise at home.
No, my children are quiet, with the exception of one of my bonus daughters. Her mother used to tell me all the time, "I think she's really yours." So Taylor is the talker of the family, but no, the other three are very quiet.
We got to go to commercial. Stay right there. We've got a few more questions for Heather. We'll be right back after these messages. You don't want to miss it.
Having trouble seeing the small print? Check out Soto Optical with hundreds of different designer eyewear. Only at Soto Optical, 1383 Main Street.
All right, we're back with my lovely co-host, Heather Howell.
He does that every time. He does it all the time. And I get so tickled every time he does
I
it.
loved at Christmas because I think that's where I came up
where
with
you
that.
started
Because
it.
I don't think I realized actually your last name for a long time.
Yes.
And I was like, Howl, like an owl?
Yeah, that's my favorite bird. There's a question.
Okay, that's a great question. So,
My favorite bird.
an owl.
Yeah, owls are my.
And, we should one day do a segment on the owl because it's interesting you say that.
my favorite bird.
I just found out the owl, there's so many different species of owls and types. They actually really don't have a way to count how many different kinds of different owls there are. And they're only like a one owner type of person if you do have an owl, which you're not really supposed to have as a pet.
Nobody told my dad that.
Right. I remember you telling me about that.
Nobody told my dad because he had Clicky and Clacky. So yeah.
All right. So you asked me who was my favorite charity in town. I got to ask you the same question.
Well, you stole my answer because it's I'm a big cat habitat girl.
Yeah.
I was raised by a veterinarian. My stepdad is a veterinarian. So animals, I don't know. That was always a thing for me. A lot of people like animals, but you can like animals, and then to make an animal your passion in your life is a completely, totally different thing.
Right.
So the people at Kay and Nancy and the crew and Danielle and Clayton at Big Cat Habitat, going out there and interviewing them, and people are like, oh, you get to see the animals. I got to tell you, the most interesting part about it is watching the people that take care of the animals. And the knowledge. Doc Wasabi is he's so full of knowledge, and they do this morning, noon, and night. Right. So they don't take a nap, they don't go to bed. Like, there is somebody constantly taking care of them. So I've found that to be one of my favorite.
who inspires you? What are you inspired by? And that would probably be the Sarasota Military Academy.
Most definitely. If I had to pick an individual that inspires me, my son. My son inspires me. He's yeah, he's that guy. So yeah, the Sarasota Military Academy, it's a great concept. It's why I moved here. I definitely believe in them and what they do and what they bring for young people.
If you ever see Heather on the streets, which you probably will because she loves the streets. If you see her on the streets and you want to have a conversation with somebody, bring up her son. Your ears will bleed. She will do nothing but bless him and rage on him and all the above. She loves her son. All right, Heather. I think that's...
Got a daughter-in-law.
Oh, yeah, your daughter-in-law, too. I've got to know, and the viewers have to know as well, Heather. Tell us a little bit about who is your most interesting person that you've actually interviewed and met.
Okay. Well, I would have to go with, we did, it was a charitable event that we did at Selby Library.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we did the crystal ball.
Oh, that's right, with Kenny Camp.
Yeah. Yes, with Kenny. And I grabbed an author. Okay. A local author. She was around the corner, and I was like, I just grabbed her, and I'm like, I'm interviewing you. And she was like, oh, okay.
I know exactly who you are.
And at the time, I knew nothing about her, nothing about her story or her book. I just saw a local author, and we were getting that story for Out and About. And after meeting her and reading her book, most definitely the answer to that question would be P.A. Barrick, or Pam, who I can now say is my friend, and her book is SpaghettiO Sandwiches, and it is a story about perseverance and her lifetime struggle with child abuse and then being diagnosed with cancer and overcoming, and she's an inspiration. Yeah, most definitely, hands down, Pam Barrick and SpaghettiO Sandwiches.
It's so weird to actually hear you say that, because I don't really hear you ever say anything like someone really sticks out in your head or is
right.
been,
Well,
so out there.
I like everyone,
right.
and I'm a people pleaser, and I'm always like, oh, she's so nice, and
right.
she's my friend. I got me a new friend.
But for you to kind of like go on and on and on, unless it's your son, of course, I don't really hear you do that. So that's great for me to know, because I never knew that either.
No, and her book can be ordered on Amazon or on her website, which is P.A. Barrick. But yeah, I mean, definitely, and she's local, so. As we always say, we're always supporting local people, and she's a local author. So there you have it. So definitely Pam, definitely.
I think that's going to bring the segment to a close. We want to thank you for spending some time with us here on Out and About, and thank you so much for always helping me and doing such a great job covering some great stories around town. You've been a huge success with the show, and I really do appreciate you. I couldn't do it without you, girl. All right, we want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you once again when we're out
and about Sarasota.
Oh, well, bye.
I gotta run outside and see what's happening. Out and about.
My name is Heather, and my favorite color is clear. I love neon black.
Out and About Sarasota, made possible by these fine sponsors.
A good time.
This has been an Out and About media production, product of Sarasota Socialites.